good, YouTube? It's your boy J-Bay, Mr. Major Man, Mr. 504 Jeezy from the Big Easy here to welcome y'all back to the showroom. And today, got a bit of a rant, a contrary rant for the most part. Before I do that, I like y'all to hit that like button, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on all my other social media platforms, which will be linked in the description below. So, let's get the elephant out the room. This shoe right here, who would have thought after almost 2.5 weeks of the release, we would still be talking about this shoe here. Rather, it's people talking about restocks, second chances, late shipments, or whatever the case may be with this shoe right here. I think we're getting to a point where people are just overly reaching in a sense of common sense when it comes to this release of the Chicago Lost and Found Jordan 1. And I've said this before. I'm not going to say every release. People are hyped for what they want to be hyped for. Let's just be real about that. The biggest botch release of my entire sneaker history life would always go to the trophy room Jordan 1. Because there was just too much surrounding that shoe right here. This shoe right here, backdooring for a GR expected, but this was the only reason people were going for this is because it was a Chicago colorway of a Jordan 1. Now, let's get to the Nike situation. Supposedly, there were uploaded 329,000 men's pairs, flat men's pairs. I want people to compartmentalize and take context into this. This goes for my store as well. If I only have 20 pairs of men's, which is typically a size run and a half, if I only have that in my store, in a multitude of areas, and I have 100 people vying for that shoe, 20 pairs versus 100 people, everybody's not going to get a pair. Hell, maybe not even the full 20 will get their pair, because guess what? The first 20 people, let's just say if they need a size 10, which is a common size, I only have 1 10, and I got 5 people that wear a size 10. So it's basically going to the first person up. Now let's also take this into account with the sneakers app. There were almost 29,000 pairs just in the men's pair for size 10. Put that times 10, where 100,000 people are potentially vying for that size 10s. It's the same formula. Not everybody was gonna hit on that release for the sneakers app, and I feel like even with the logic that was involved with a lot of that, it is utterly irresponsible to just put one egg in your basket when it came to this shoe right here. This is not a Jordan 11 where they possibly making 1 million pairs, which in context is still not enough, because a lot of people, there are probably 2 million people going for the damn shoe. But my whole thing about it is, I did not put my eggs in the one basket, and luckily, and I'm saying this, I am lucky that I had hit on EA access for this pair right here. And yes, I did hit on a second pair, but this is from a retailer. I'm not doing that to gloat, but a lot of people did not put their footwork in. And I understand the whole people do not like to, they feel it's a waste of time. If it's a waste of time, then the ones that are complaining shouldn't be the ones harping over it then. Because a lot of times the people that miss out on the shoe are the people who are not informed. Everybody has the resources to do any and everything they want when it comes to these shoes. Rather as you buy early pair, and a lot of times, and like I said, that even didn't work out to a degree, because a lot of people bought the shoe at $1,000 and are kicking themselves right now because they need a second pair to justify them paying that $1,000 when the price dropped to $300, literally $300 the week. Matter of fact, the day before the release. So a lot of times people, puts their anger in the wrong direction instead of putting it in the mirror. And like I said before, I was blessed. I was blessed to have EA on this. I was blessed to be able to get a second pair on this because I did the work. I did the work. A lot of YouTubers did the work. A lot of YouTubers even said they were going after the multiple pair. And this is for me to keep. Just to disclaim, I'm not selling this pair. This is my personal pair. This is for one to rock, one to stock. And yes, I do have the 2015 Chicago. That's another thing right there. That is not me boasting. That is me discussing my personal logic behind it. And this is a lot of people personal logic. A lot of people really want this just to have a second pair, so I don't have to kill my 2015 until they potentially re-release the Chicago in the high 85 form. That is the only justification for a lot of people wanting this shoe right here. And I did say on another video, I said this in a few people comment, I said if you were to put both of these shoes, the 2015 and the 2022, if you were able to get both of these for retail, a lot of people would pick the 2015. I'm just gonna be all the way real about that. And this is really just a filler shoe right now for when they potentially release a high 85 Chicago. And let's look at the track record of how Jordan released it. We had the 1985 pair. We had the 1995 pair. We also had the 2003 pair, which was released as a mid and had patent leather all over it. Then we had the 2013 version, which had the Jumpman on there. And then we had finally the 2015 release, which released the closest to the OG form that we could have possibly got at the time. And now we're 2022 and we got this one right here, which they gave the vintage aesthetic to it, which I give it. Look, and Jordan Brand's coming up on their 40th anniversary, so if they give the high 85 Chicago on that day, on that anniversary, I'll be surprised. I'm looking forward to them to give us a lot of stuff that we want, because we still haven't got the high 85 of a black toe with the black tongue, and we still haven't got the high 85 Chicago standard, like pristine, like this one, right, like the 2015 was. And we also had the bread and every other OG colorway that hasn't come out. The only one that came out in the high 85 is going to be the black and whites, which come out this February, and also the neutral grays. Other than that, we didn't get no other OG colors in the high 85. So maybe in the 40th anniversary we'll get that. But the justification for everybody's anger is like, if there's a million people going for the shoe, there's a very slim chance you're going to get that shoe. And I'm just being all the way real. And people have been saving for this shoe. People have literally been saving their money for this shoe. So it wasn't one of those situations where, you know, you may luck up because somebody didn't have the funds allocated or they didn't save up by the time the release came. A lot of people were saving their money for this shoe. And also another thing, I believe, hell, and a lot of pairs didn't get claimed on those early access pairs, because guess what? I was able to, a lot of pairs didn't get claimed. Some people had exclusive access and didn't even know they had it until it locked them out and said their time was up, which was like around 5 o'clock that evening. So a lot of people didn't claim those pairs. So there were more pairs floating around probably during the release than what they should have had during that EA release that happened. But like I said, man, it's a very, very complicated discussion to have, but just me being in the retail and also knowing linguistics and how all this works, I mean, there's a lot of speculation, you know, rather it's backdoor pairs or whatever the case may be. I'm like, $500K in the grand scheme of it, it's a lot, but it's not a lot, because like I said, the United States has over 300 million people in it by itself. So that's just a very small speck across a speck in the grand scheme of everything. And we don't even know if that's 500K is accurate to the global release, because undoubtedly in China and Europe they had a good amount of pairs. So I'm not even 100% sure how big of a number that really was. And then you had retailers that got supposedly 150K, which they had to split up amongst each other with that as well. And not every retailer had every size either. That's another thing in itself. But I mean, your big markets, your I think DTLR just did a release on theirs too. So they were holding their own pairs as well, and they did theirs online. But Chicago, California, New York, and also Florida and I believe Atlanta, all those are mostly the markets that had a lot of pairs. But like I said before, I think people need to just reevaluate their critique and their enthusiasm a different way, because the main gripe has been make more pairs, make more pairs, make more pairs, make more pairs. No matter how many make more pairs you do, like, because I mean, at the end of the day, if they start pushing the Air Jordan 1 like they do the Air Force 1, where there's a constant production of that, then we're going to run into a lot more hiccups than what you really think. Jordan is always about pristine. They've always been about creating hype. They've always been about like being the top tier echelons of sneakers. It's always been that way. Like there's no end all be all. Hell, if people see more Jordan sitting around, and which that has been the case for the last couple months, if you haven't noticed, if people have constantly seen Jordan sitting around, they're not gonna want to buy it. And I'm gonna be real, like, I'm good for a sale. I like getting shit under retail. That's me personally. But brands, they're not too fond of that. They're not too fond of getting their shit discounted, heavily discounted. Hell, it's even, look, that's the irony of this. This shoe right here, they even made the fucking paper on here where it has heavily discounted Jordan 1s of when it originally came out in 1985. That's the hypocrisy of this. And now we're spending $200 on a shoe where they made 1 million pairs from 85 to 86 until the Air Jordan 2 and sold, but yet they had to heavily discount this shoe at a lot of different retailers. That's the crazy part about it. These went on sale. So for us to be going crazy over it like it is astounding shit. It's like we're not like Nike is the greatest marketing company of all time. Let's just give it up to Nike. But we're so gun-ho over a shoe that, like I said, this could have easily been just like the greatest GR of all time. Matter of fact, to me personally, this is an introduction for a Jordan 1 high to be a GR like this, because this is probably the most produced general release colorway, OG colorway that we ever got. But I'm curious to know what y'all think, man, because I'm like, it is crazy on my end. Like I said, I know a lot of people did not hit on this shoe. Will restock happen? There's a potential chance that is definitely going to happen. Nike said that there were probably over 10, I think it was close to 10 million entries just on this shoe alone. So I mean, the numbers were there, bro. The numbers were there. The server crashed, and like, it just happens, and we all know that happens. But do I feel like Nike should just do an EA to a degree? Yes and no. And if they do a Lil drop, I feel like everybody else is still shit out of luck to a degree. And then we got the moldy pair case going on. So we don't, only God knows how many pairs those is in the total of it. Like, me personally, I think it's probably like maybe 10,000 pairs that actually had mold on them. But we'll see. But let me know in the comment section what y'all think below. And as always, I deeply appreciate each and every last one of y'all. So stay true, stay fly, stay blessed. I'm JC Baby, and we're in the showroom, and I'm out. You dig?